If there's one thing I've learned over the past 18 months, it's been, I guess, about asking for help, which had been a lesson I had to learn when I experienced postnatal depression after the birth of my first child. I found it very hard to ask for help. I have gotten better at it, but it's still about actually receiving that help. And as solo business owners, spiritual business owners, I guess, as well, it can be, we're wearing many hats and can often feel like we're doing it all. So we continue to keep doing it all. And especially for those that are, whether you're intuitive or just have a lot of your own techniques, you know the tools, you have the tools to look after yourself. And often we can forget to receive medicine from other people as well, as receiving our own medicine. I definitely do believe that we all have our own medicine within us, but sometimes we do need that helping hand. And that is, I guess, what I want to talk to you about because at the end of 2024, I was in a small car accident, nothing major, but I did experience whiplash from it, and that was pretty much all of last year's journey. And I will share some videos about the special body workers I was working with. But today is about my journey, my experiences with Mandi J Nelson, who is uh, a healer, a teacher, a mentor. She's got many things that she does that she can offer, and always evolving. So I won't limit the definition. I'll share her details in the description so you can see how you can find her. And it was interesting because when I first met her, she was holding a cacao ceremony and they had just come back from Peru. And I had very much felt like Peru was calling me at that time. And it felt like this was the next best thing. So I just knew I had to be there. And I guess I didn't understand that it was, um, it was initiating the following sequence of events. And I had some very profound experiences with her through some different events, and I'll share, um, I'll share the dragon story another time. But there was, this very profound experience where I just remember saying to her, like, I just knew I needed to meet her on this other level, and I had all this angst within me that I had just received this call to higher service, and I just wasn't sure how to do that. I knew I couldn't say no, and it just felt like it was asking too much from me. And also, I guess on that dragon consciousness level, was very much aware that I had been lost in the labyrinth of man, and um, yeah, and trying to navigate out of that and what was next. So it was through that interaction with her that I knew she was able to hold space for me when she then announced that she was holding or launching her Heartlight Mastery, the next intake. And with that, with this course of hers, there's monthly sessions that you have with her. And I had had one session with her, which had been, again, quite profound. She had cleared this attachment that had been with me over many lifetimes that I had had two other people remove, like different occurrences, different situations. But yeah, she kind of was able to clear it for good. And that was something that had I had encountered as a child and was my only real, I guess, paranormal experience as a kid, being able to see something that wasn't actually there. And that has kind of been my frame of reference with trying to, activate my own psychic gifts and knowing that I have been able to see before and still trying to be able to see. So, yeah, it was really felt really good to, finally be clear of that. And not just for myself, but for my family as well, because it had come through with me and my youngest daughter. So it was, yeah, very good to have that cleared. And then she also was able to take me to my star home, which didn't have a name. So that was also um, wasn't something I had been seeking, but yeah, it was really special to reach that place, to see it again, and to see my journey from there to Earth, and just reconnect with yeah, this other aspect of me. And I guess again that just helped me know that she was able to stretch me, and I was able to know that she could stretch wherever I needed her to go throughout all the many dimensions, throughout all the many different times. And so yeah, so when she announced the Heartlight Mastery course last year, I just yeah felt. I also felt the pull to, be having that year-long journey of monthly sessions with her. And it was really what came about was, yeah, just pretty much her holding space and having someone that you could speak to. I guess when we're on this journey, we can often, reach out to those that we have learnt different modalities from, and so maybe you may already go through a mentoring process there. So yeah, so it did feel like it was quite a mentoring space for me to share what was coming up in my world, what was coming up in my work as well, which often there was an overlap. And the interesting thing also was, as I was moving through the modules in Heartlight Mastery, that it was kind of an overlap with what was happening within my Etheric Circle membership as well. So it was, even though like it was pre-recorded content from an earlier intake, it just reiterates like what I say with the etheric circle as well, that everything is held in the quantum field, and you will receive what you need to receive at that moment in time. Like, because there is no time really. So it was really beautiful to have the course kind of fill in some of the gaps. There's a lot of esoteric knowledge in there. So it just, yeah, kind of filled in some of the gaps of some of the different themes that were showing up in the etheric circle. And um, trying to think what I wanted to say there. Yeah, with the different activations as well, and the daily practice of, yeah, connecting with your body, and yeah, and essentially having this daily practice of connecting with your body, I found that to be my biggest struggle. I would prefer to choose sleep rather than waking up that little bit earlier to do something. But I eventually got into my own little flow. Still wasn't a daily practice, but much to Mandy's disappointment, I guess. I don't know. She definitely does value the daily practice, and kind of, yeah, continually will bring it up. So it was, and I guess that leads me to the biggest thing that, or I guess the overarching thing of what came up in our sessions, which was pretty much my exploration of a soul level onto this incarnation, this lifetime, and about the physicality of it, because I have known I have been formless more than I have held form, and that the etheric space is definitely where um, I guess feel more at home. And it's like, the etheric level is just outside the physical level. That is where all of our energetic bodies live. And um, it's so close to the physical body, but it's still not quite there. So it was really about learning how to truly come into the physical form and connect again with the physical body, because I've always, whether it's my human design or whatever traits it is, I have always been more in my mind, and rather than in the body and in the heart. And that's again what the whole etheric circle is all about, helping guide people make that shift from the busy mind into our heart space. And again, that's what her Heart Light Mastery course is about as well, entering the heart. And what was really interesting in that journey into the physicality was seeing what were the different blocks that were preventing me from, really connecting on the physical level. And we each monthly session, there would be a lot of talking, where I would kind of pull in all the different things all the different threads that I was weaving in together and kind of, um, I guess, with her assistance, try to find what the through line was at that moment in time. And then also then seeing what it was that I needed to work on. And she's very focused on working with the inner child and yeah, always trying to bring it back to the inner child. So I'd done a lot of inner child work before, but this was, yeah, really great to revisit from these different perspectives that I would be, moving through. But also what we would be exploring, oh, and I guess also with the journey that I was having with my spine was the connection between the throat and the pelvis and the throat chakra and the sacral chakra, like, and just how they mirror each other and how they're different expressions and how to work with them. So that was really quite powerful to be moving through in different layers. And I guess overall, what would happen in each session was also a very deep level clearing. And it was really, I guess, a sense of, purification of this physical vessel throughout the multi dimensions and interdimensional spaces. And there would be like each month was always different. So, yeah, and it was always pretty much always very ancient stuff that was being cleared from my field. And sometimes they were earth-based, sometimes they were from other spaces. And the interesting thing was because trust has been a big issue for me. I know I've been tricked by trickster beings before. I know I have um, come into this with like into this world with yeah, just needing to learn how to trust others and working through different layers of that. And I was able, like through the different clearings, it was clear, like even though there will be higher dimensional beings that were cleared, like it was just because they were higher dimensional didn't necessarily mean that they supported me anymore. Like maybe I had outgrown them and no longer needed them, um, or maybe they weren't the right guide anymore, or maybe I had entered into an arrangement under false pretenses. So it was clearing lots of different contracts and yeah, just all different types of agreements, and also all different types of fracturing as well. So that was really cool. And another level, I guess, also like, with the physical body was, and I guess it was more so in lifetimes off planet, was clearing different implants or different uh, and I guess this could be from lifetimes of like being a hybrid of some sort, or can't really remember exactly where they were. Some like definitely one was in Orion and um, very connected with like technology and like a mechanical suit, and it was, yeah, removing mechanical devices that had been implanted or like, yeah, whether it was something that would support the body or whether it was something implanted upon me. So removing those and pretty much essentially just trying to remove anything that was synthetic and just trying to return back to organic I guess, organic tools, organic guides, and really, again, just, yeah, purifying this body to be what I wanted it to be, clearing, like, yeah, different things from different lifetimes so that I knew that I was safe and that I could trust the body for starters, and then allow me to trust the outside world. So again, it's that macro micro lens as well, the working on the inner world with the reflection on the outer world and vice versa. So it was a very long. It stretched out past the 13 months it's meant to be, just from moving through some of the modules a bit slower, just due to time. And but always trusting that things happen as they should. And it was very beautiful that our final session was when she happened to be in Bali, because last year we had happened to be in Bali at the same time. And it felt like in that it was like this frequency readjustment that had occurred while we were both on the lands of Bali and then returning back, and then kind of, yeah, just seeing how things shifted in my world with each subsequent session, because it's really much have been about preparing me for the next level that I know I'm headed towards, which will eventually have a podcast, and my childhood dream of having a book or books. And within that, and even within my role of holding space in one-on-ones or in group circles, I highly regard creating safe spaces. And that was something that Maddie and I very much connected on, the whole sovereignty thing, as well as um, what do I want to say? Um, it's just, I guess, coming into right relationship with yourself, with the lands, and with others. And again, that was one thing that I had felt drawn to working with Mandy as well, to deepen my understanding of how to work with the land, and I to hold that reverence for the land and for the ancestors and for our teachers. So I really got a lot out of that part of our working together as well. And I just know that it's all just, helping me build that solid foundation for what it is that I offer out into the world. And with that, and with every transmission that I'm sharing on whichever platform it is, it's always about ensuring that there is, like, I'm only transmitting what is for the highest good, and ensuring that there's nothing that is interfering with me, interfering with the message, or, pulling my strings. So I'm really always trying to ensure that whatever it is that I'm transmitting is as clean and as pure as can be, and ensuring that so that what you're receiving is, what you need to receive in that time, and of, the highest resonance for the highest good of all. And that has really been about, again, just really creating that safe space. So whether, it's in the physical world, or whether it's in this digital cyber world where we're connecting on now, and that is something that a lot of people lose sight of, because we're not having to have those face-to-face interactions. So sometimes, social etiquette is a bit lacking in our digital interactions. And it really needs to be something that we all pay more attention to, and, bringing back the humanity into all of our ways that we move through the world, and all the worlds that we move through. So, um, so I think overall it was just about that, having that space to really expand into my multidimensionality, know that whatever I had to share wasn't too weird, too woo-woo, that someone was able to receive it, and to be safely held to come back into this body, and really, fine tuning what it was that I needed to feel in this body, being able to look at the different layers that needed to be looked at, and really stepping into that observer mode. But, it's like, without not being detached, but also having that non-attachment. So really just being able to have that eagle's eye view, but also, being able to go into the deeper realms. So If you've been looking for someone to hold space for you, then obviously you can give me a go. Or Mandy is another place that you can turn to. She does work online, so it doesn't matter where you are tuning in from around the world. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to Mandy. And I think overall, the message that I wanted to share is coming back to what I shared at the beginning, that we all have our own medicine, and so often we're wanting to, share it out with the world, and maybe we neglect focusing on ourselves. And yes, we can do the work on ourselves, but sometimes we need to have that place to rest or to receive, or just, just having someone to hold us. So it's really just, finding that fine balance between, um, you know, not having to do it all yourself, and I guess that's when it's coming into co-creation. The more we stepping into unity consciousness, the more we'll be co-creating with one another, and the more we're able to shed through our different layers, our old identities, and heal our old wounds, and keep chipping away at the different layers of the core wounds. Then the easier it is to trust others and work with others, and see the beauty in their work, because we all have different different skills, different gifts. And even if there's two people doing the same modality, they've come from different lived experiences, different soul journeys. So everyone's always going to have a different, I guess, flavor that they bring to the work. And also, maybe if you've been very focused on the energy work, maybe it's time to look at receiving some body work, or vice versa. If you've been very much focusing on the physical layer, maybe it's time to start looking at the energetic layer. And some people are able to work with both, and some people, yeah, just really, I guess, above all, just tuning into your own discernment and trusting what resonates for you and following that, and just seeing what it opens up for you. And I'm sure you will be pleasantly surprised on your journey, and I guess all that you learn on the journey as well. Always remembering that when things have occurred in this lifetime, other lifetimes, even if it's been quite painful or traumatic, that there's always these learnings, and wisdom that we want to retain from those experiences. We can, move through the pain, but we want to keep what we have learned. So that can help, us, we're out evolving into whatever it is that we have come here in this moment of time to do. So, with that, I hope you have an amazing day, and yeah, just take a moment to reflect on your journey so far, and maybe if you need to reach out to someone, or yeah, just try something a little different, and yeah, see where that leads you. All right, bye for now.